Should the Giants think about shutting down some key players with the season all but over? It's all coming up on Locked On Giants.
You are Locked On Giants, your daily San Francisco Giants podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Locked On Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. My name is Alan Stiles, talking Giants baseball with you Monday through Friday, and a happy Friday to everybody out there. On today's show, we are discussing whether or not the Giants should shut down some players on the team, and there's a specific player that we're going to spend the most time on. Turner Hill, a profile on Turner Hill, making history, played D3 baseball and a chance to really make his mark in the major leagues for the Giants. So we have a profile on him, and the Giants to host the 2028 All-Star Game. That's right. Some good news here for Oracle Park and King Street and everything the Giants have been working towards from the marketing side and the brand side of things. We just got to get the baseball side to catch up to it. Let's start with shutting down the vets and shutting down some of the important pieces on the team. The Giants kick off a 3-game set against the Rockies. Okay, another bad team. And you could see them as low, tickets as low as $25, $35, $29. And I'm wondering, look, those are obviously low tickets, and I'm on ESPN.com, but I'm wondering if they're not as low as I would think. I saw somebody was trending a couple days ago because they said that they got into a Giants game for $4, but it wasn't necessarily about the price. It was where the seats were. So I'm wondering if everything is going to drop closer to game time, or on the flip side, everybody knows, hey, the Giants could actually win these games against the Rockies. So these are the games that we want to go to. So if you're headed out there, go ahead and enjoy yourself. I'm not going to call it Triple-A baseball because that would be disrespectful, but you're going to see a lot of Triple-A talent on both sides. So go on out there, get a crab sandwich. You can Uber Eats it. We did that. I'm still paying for it, and that was a year ago. But go out there and enjoy yourself. So who the Giants are going to put out on the mound? Landon Roop, Logan Webb, and Blake Tidwell. Now, obviously, you need enough players and you need enough pitchers to field a rotation. Don't get me wrong, but you start looking at some of these guys, and Logan Webb in particular, and you start to wonder, hey, is there a world where you shut Logan Webb down because these innings don't necessarily mean anything, right? Based on my math, which of course is always maybe a little bit shaky, Logan Webb has about 5 to 7 starts left, okay, give or take, somewhere in between 5 to 7 starts. So what would you do if you were the organization? What would you do if you were Tony Vitello, Buster Posey, Zach Manassian, however that hierarchy adds up? Let's keep this in mind too. These guys are going to maybe get some extra time off with this lockout. We hope they don't, but it's very possible that they get some extra time off with this lockout. Here's, I think, the issue that the Giants run into. I don't know, and optics matter. I don't know that you can hold someone out of trade conversations and make them untouchable, and then a couple weeks later, a month later, shut them down because the team is not competitive, right? Or isn't competing for anything. I don't know if you can do that. And obviously he's going to pitch this go round. It's more about, I don't know, those last 4 starts. That's where this conversation, I think, becomes more realistic. And I just don't think you can do it. I think it would look terrible. I think it would be bad. Number one, knowing Logan Webb, he would be ticked off. I'm a rare Giants Raiders fan. And if you remember the Raiders, that whole situation with Max Crosby, obviously that was a little bit different because the Raiders were trying to get the number 1 pick. They succeeded. They ended up not needing to lose that game, if I remember correctly, because another team lost. But they got into it with Max Crosby because he's saying, I'm healthy enough to play. The Raiders are saying, we don't want to mess around and accidentally win, so we're not going to play you. This is a different situation because the Giants can't improve their draft position. They can't do it. So based on the current rules, which I saw people are saying when they do these labor negotiations and discuss everything, teams like the Giants might try to remove these conversations or remove some of these constraints that are currently around quote unquote big market teams. And it's kind of sad that the Giants have to say, hey, if we stink, we should be able to get another top pick. Now, I get it. You should, but the fact that the Giants have to argue that is kind of a sad state of where the Giants currently are. But with all that being said, you're not doing it. It's not the tanking conversation. The NBA just fixed, or they think that they fixed the tanking issue. Now the odds are super flat for everyone. And if you're really bad, you get in the relegation zone. So you actually have worst odds to get the top pick if you are one of the worst teams, which is maybe a little bit backwards because some of those small markets aren't going to have a lot of opportunities to get that talent, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, the Giants right now don't necessarily have a reason or a subplot reason to not throw Logan Webb other than we don't want to put pointless innings on his arm. And it is a season where he's dealt with some injuries. It's been a long season for Logan Webb. Let's not forget, right? It's been a long season where he pitched in the World Baseball Classic, and then they were the very first game. So he had the shortest rest because he pitched in the World Baseball Classic, and then they kicked off the MLB season. And then he had some injuries where he missed nearly a month earlier in the season. Look, man, I know people would be very upset with it, and there's no way the Giants do it just simply because that would be it would be a pretty bad look, but they're probably going to think about it. And I don't know, maybe the last start or two, then you get to the last start or two and you think, we'll just let him finish the season. This happened in a completely different capacity with Blake Snell. Now, Blake Snell, I hated him as a Giant. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was bad vibes, and you could see the writing on the wall that he was going to become a Smurf. He just had that stench about him. He had that look about him. You could just tell he was going to become a Dodger. So we get all that. But Blake Snell, at the end of that season, when the Giants ended up out of contention once again, Blake Snell got into it because he essentially said, well, I don't know, if there's any point in me pitching. Now, obviously, he didn't say that, but how it all looked to the outside looking in was Blake Snell doesn't want to throw in this game because he's going to be a free agent and the Giants aren't playing for anything. Now, if I were Blake Snell, maybe I'd feel the same way too, but I'm not Blake Snell, right? So, and there's a whole conspiracy theory about what the Dodgers are doing and why their pitchers are always quote unquote hurt early and then they get healthy as we get closer to the playoffs. Go look that up yourself. If you are a Dodgers hater like myself, you'll find it fascinating. So I got that one for you. Go look that up over the weekend and have some fun with it. But I don't see any world where the Giants, outside of maybe the last start, but then Logan Webb would want to close it out, especially with the Kruko stuff and all that. So I don't know. I don't see it happening, but I do think that it's worth a conversation because Logan Webb is getting closer to 30. We know he doesn't throw absolute gas, but these guys end up dropping like flies. And Logan Webb has been well known for throwing the most innings each and every season when it comes to the qualified starters. So we know that he is a workhorse. So if you could get him a little break, hey, these last 3-4 starts, we're just going to sit you down and, you're where you're at innings wise, other starters are not even there. So you not pitching these last couple games, other starters around the league are still not even close to what you typically do. Right now, if you are somebody paying for the game and, hey, Alan, we flew out from wherever, or we drove out from wherever and we came to see Logan Webb and, he got scratched and now, we got to watch one of the river kitties, the river cats that just got pulled up. Trust me, I feel you. I'm saying from an organization standpoint, it's probably a conversation that they should have. Willy Adames, I think, is another player that they should at least think about. We'll see what happens with the back, but these are investments. Willy Adames, Logan Webb only has 2 more years on the deal. Willy Adames has 5. You got to get Willy Adames right and see, can you play shortstop or not? That's the main goal. I know we talked about it yesterday. The main goal for the Giants going into 2027. Can you play shortstop for the next 3-4 years or not? because we could have a placeholder while we get some of these guys, the younger guys, ready, but we need to figure out how do we get the most out of Willy Adames in this contract that we rewarded you with. So there's that. The Rafael Devers thing, he's been pretty healthy this season, so it would honestly just be a shutdown, a healthy scratch. I think there's an opportunity for a team to get a little bit greedy with Rafi Devers. I think it's unlikely, but if he goes on a tear for the end of the season, maybe a team that's missing a big bat says, you know what, we're a small market. It's hard for us to get free agents. Let's just go get Rafi. Let's just go get Rafi, and we can be completely all in, a big lefty bat. Let's make it happen. So I think that Rafi definitely should play, and he's playing first base, right? It's not that hard on your body. I'm not, disrespecting first baseman, but relatively speaking, for all of the other positions out there, the Jung Hoo Lees of the world, guys like that. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to make a mockery of this and just sit a bunch of dudes, especially not now. I think Logan Webb is the best conversation for it, but I also don't know that it's going to happen outside of maybe the last or second to last start. And if things line up, we can look at the schedule now. Yeah, if things line up there, and their last series is against the Dodgers. They have six game homestand to close out the season. They have the Dodgers September 18th, 19th, and 20th. Then they play the Dodgers again at the end of September, the very end of September, to close out the season at Oracle Park. So if Logan Webb, if it lines up and he's supposed to pitch one of those games, there is no way, no how, because I think based on the 5 days, he's either going to get he could get the beginning of the Twins and then get the very last game or one of the last 2 games against the Dodgers, or he's going to get the Dodgers twice, once in LA and then again in at Oracle Park. So there's no way you're convincing Logan Webb to not pitch in those games. No way, no how. I don't think so. Should the organization think about it? Probably. These guys are investments. So it's their job to think about it. Obviously, as fans, you want to see your guys throw, but there might be some fans out there that think, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know that it's worth it with this season where it is right now. I think because of where the season is, it turns into tiny victories. So the season might be all but over, but if you can beat the Dodgers in 2 series to close out the season, it at least gives you a little bit of a feel good. And we haven't had a lot of feel good this season at all. Let's get to Turner Hill. The speedy outfielder has been pulled up to the Giants. We got a profile on him on the other side. More Locked On Giants coming up. Can we talk about one of the most underrated organs in your body? Your liver. It's your body's filter, processing everything you consume and performing more than 500 functions every day. It's involved in things like energy production, digestion, fat metabolism, and vitamin storage, so it's doing a lot of work behind the scenes. That's why giving your liver daily support can be an important part of building healthy habits. Dose for Your Liver is a clinically backed liver health supplement designed to support daily liver function. Unlike another capsule or powder, Dose comes as a liquid 2-ounce daily shot that tastes like fresh squeezed orange juice. It's 0 sugar, 0 junk, and 0 calories, making it an easy addition to your daily routine. The best part about it is how simple it is to add to your schedule. It's about balancing things, travel, work, late nights, a packed schedule. And that's why simple routines matter. And having Dose as a quick 2-ounce shot that can easily become a part of your everyday routine. Ready to give your liver the support it deserves? Head to dosedaily.co/LockedOnMLB or enter Locked On MLB to get 35% off your first subscription. Your body does so much for you. Let's do something for it. That's dosedaily.co/LockedOnMLB for 35% off your first month subscription. As we continue today's show, it's time for the Everyday Icon presented by Stance. As the official sock partner of Major League Baseball, Stance knows greatness isn't built in a single moment. It's earned over time through consistency, preparation, and showing up every day. That's why each week we're recognizing one player whose performance embodies those same qualities. And this week's everyday icon is Blade Tidwell. Y'all know he's my guy, and going 5 innings plus in his last 2 starts, showing the team, showing the organization what he can do. It has been outstanding and awesome to watch. The everyday icon is presented by Stance. Check out the icon collection from Stance. Premium comfort, performance, and durability designed for whatever your day brings. Use promo code Locked On at checkout for 20% off your purchase. Stance, the official sock partner of Major League Baseball. Learn more at stance.com. As we get into the next segment, we have a player profile on Turner Hill. The Giants are selecting, this is from Anthony Franco, the Giants are selecting Turner Hill onto the Major League roster, and that's according to the transaction log. Matt Chapman was unfortunately transferred to the 60-day injured list to open up a spot on the 40-man roster. So, of course, they'll need to make an active roster move, which they are going to do or already did in order to make all this happen. Turner Hill is 5'10", lefty, and he plays all outfield positions, a speedy guy that's going to get on base for you. And we like watching guys like that. Jonah Cox as well. So adding Turner Hill and Jonah Cox, this outfield is starting to look a little bit speedy and a little bit better on defense, things like that. Hill overcomes the odds in making the majors as a former undrafted free agent. The left-handed hitter signed with San Francisco in 2023 after playing his amateur ball at Division III Marietta College. He'll be the school's first MLB alum in almost 2 decades. Given that background, it's not surprising that Hill has never rated as a premium prospect. He has simply hit at every minor league stop. That includes an excellent 2026 season at the top 2 levels. Hill opened the year at AA Richmond and proved far too advanced, forcing his way to Triple-A by the middle of April. He has hit .353, .420, .529 with more walks and strikeouts over 365 plate appearances in the Pacific Coast League, where he's riding a 26-game hit streak. Hill leads Triple-A batting in average, minimum 200 plate appearances, and is 4th in the PCL in on-base percentage. He has added 9 home runs and 23 stolen bases in 28 tries. Okay. Hill is already 27, so the AAA production isn't as eye-popping as would be, obviously, college guy, so he's going to be older there. But Brandon Golowski did. Fangraphs gave him an honorable mention in his write-up of the San Francisco farm system in June, noting his elite contact skills, but writing that Hill has bottom-of-scale power, which is fine. He puts half his batted balls on the ground and has middling exit velocity, so he'll need to continue reaching base at a high clip to carve out an MLB role. It's worthwhile for the Giants to give Hill a look and see if he can be a 4th, 5th outfielder. The team hasn't hit in the second half. Starting center fielder Drew Gilbert is a below average regular, while 4th outfielder Grant McCray is 3 of 37 on the year. Hill can play anywhere in the outfield, but should see bulk of the action, complementing Gilbert and Barracoto in center and left. So that is Turner Hill. Again, yeah, seems a bit similar to Jonah Cox just based on the write-up, but Jonah Cox obviously is not 27 years old. So that's the that's the number one thing for Jonah Cox. Jonah Cox is 25 years old and he's a righty. So some of these guys, he's a little bit taller than Turner, and he got drafted in the 6th round. Both went to smaller schools though. Jonah Cox out of Oral Roberts. So you get these guys up there and, they start to show what they can do. And you know what? This is what a lot of us ask for when it comes to getting contact guys, right? Contact guys that are going to put pressure on the defense. And as the old saying goes, ducks on the pond, don't leave them on, get a hit. So if you start to surround your lineup with guys like this, it can put more pressure off of some of your big boppers to just focus on doing just that. Obviously, you don't want a bunch of strikeouts, but to focus on doing just that, especially with the fact that you have moved off of Luis Ariz. When we talked about the Rays, how the Rays, they kind of have a setup like this. Obviously, they got a Junior Caminero, but you have your Chandler Simpsons that are going to get on base and do other things, and then you knock them in, and that's how it works. And then you pitch. Now, that's the other thing. You have to get the pitching right in order for this type of landscape to work. But good on Turner Hill. I have a quote from him, just very excited. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity and excited to be here. It's something I've worked toward for a long time, and I'm looking forward to making the most of it. I'm blessed with all the people back home who have helped me get here. So I think the number one thing, just to take it away from the Giants for a second, it's just a great story. And I know sometimes I can be a bit cynical about them, but this one kind of pulls on my heartstrings a little bit. D3 guy getting pulled up to the bigs. I know on a team that's pretty bad, but I mean, to play for the Giants at that's got to be pretty awesome. So for all those out there watching the show or listening to the show, you yourself, if you're still playing or you got a son or a brother or a cousin or whatever it is, tell them keep going, because you really never know. Anything can happen when you find, and I think that's the most important thing, finding a role, right? Turner Hill knows what he's going to be in this league if he's going to hang around. I'm going to put the bat on the ball, I got to steal bases, and I got to play great defense. And if I do that at a high clip, this was Austin Rivers said this about, he was talking about Draymond Green and kind of other guys, as there were different back and forths, but Austin Rivers says you can be a star, but you can also be a star in your role, right? And I think the Giants don't have enough guys that, number one, have roles, but number two, that are stars in their role. That's not about being a star, but if Turner Hill can be a star in his role, Jonah Cox, guys like that. I just saw this guy, and it pains me to give him his kudos, but look at Kike Hernandez. Kike Hernandez has played forever, and he looks like the same age. I don't know how old he is. Feels like Kike Hernandez has been the same age. He's a vampire, right? But Kike Hernandez knew what he was going to be. I am a utility guy. I'm going to find a way to get on base. I'm going to play good defense, and I got to hit. And I got to show a little pop. I got to do different things, right? He has been a star in his role. He's not a star, but he's a star in his role. So if you can find guys like that and get them throughout your lineup, that can change some things. So shout out Turner Hill and shout out everyone that is a star in their role. One more segment with you. The Giants to host the 2028 All-Star Game. There's some good luck. We got some details for you when we return. More Locked On Giants coming up. Whether you're watching stars or stars in their role, there's nothing like watching the Giants and watching a Giants game. Even better when you get to watch it live. The excitement, the fans, the only problem, getting tickets can feel like a grind. Long queues, surprise fees, prices jumping at checkout. That's where there's Game Time. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's simple to use. The Game Time guarantee means you get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. And here's the best part. Fees are included in the price you see. What you see is what you pay. Period. The seat views feature is huge. I can see the panoramic view from my exact seat before I buy. The zone deals lets me pick the section and save even more while Game Time selects a seat. You can follow your favorite team and get alerts when new deals drop. I've seen some tickets drop as low as $10. 2 taps and it's done. No stress, no hidden fees, just great seats in minutes. That's what makes it so easy to decide last minute to hit a game. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. So last segment with you and just more informational as the Giants. It's official. The Giants to host the 2028 All-Star Game at Oracle Park. This is from MLB.com. The Midsummer Classic is returning to San Francisco. Major League Baseball announced that the Giants have been awarded the 2028 All-Star Game presented by MasterCard. It'll mark the 4th time San Francisco has hosted the marquee event and accompanying All-Star Week activities, which includes a home run derby, the Futures Game, and the MLB Draft. With its passionate fan base, world-class ballpark, and rich baseball history, San Francisco will be an outstanding host for All-Star Week, which culminates in one of Major League Baseball's best traditions, the Midsummer Classic. That's what Rob Manfred said. We look forward to bringing in the excitement of All-Star Week and the celebration of baseball to the Bay Area. Cubs are slated to host in 2027, the oldest ballpark in the National League. The Giants last staged the All-Star Game in 2007 when Ichiro won MVP after hitting the first inside the park home run in the history of the Midsummer Classic. The Giants' lone All-Star representative that year was Barry Bonds, who fittingly earned the 14th and final selection of his legendary career at his home ballpark. Other highlights included an emotional pregame tribute to Bonds' godfather, the late great Willie Mays, and a home run derby win from Vladimir Guerrero Sr. Now, I got to look up those numbers because I'm kind of worried about the home run derby, right? And I get it, obviously it's batting practice, but that home run derby, you better get that launch angle right. You better get that launch angle right. The San Francisco Giants are incredibly honored to host the 2028 MLB All-Star Game at Oracle Park. That's what Larry Baer said. We're thrilled to welcome the baseball world to San Francisco and showcase our city, our organization, our incredible fans. We're grateful to Major League Baseball for this opportunity and look forward to creating an unforgettable all-star experience for fans from San Francisco and around the world. This is what they love. This is the conglomerate that is the San Francisco Giants. We can talk about the baseball product on the field, but when you're sixth in attendance, when you're making all this money, hey man, this is why the season started at Oracle Park. Now they get the All-Star Game. Life is good, right? Who cares that we're 17 games out of the wild card? Who cares that we're actually terrible this season? None of that matters. None of that matters. Look at the bottom lines. Look at the revenue we're generating. It's all good. And now here I go being cynical again, but that's how they're looking at it. These are businessmen. These are business people. They are in a great spot. They need the Giants to be a little bit better. Buster, on the other hand, I'm sure wants the Giants to be great. Buster comes from greatness. He was a part of greatness. But the ownership, those margins are great right now. And you're about to get a jump from the All-Star Game. Life is good for them. Not for fans, but the fans keep coming to the games. So all's well that ends well, right? Right? I don't know how to feel. Obviously, I'm excited. I'm going to be there for sure. But this is the type of stuff that makes you think, well, why do they need to go out and spend a bunch of money on, I don't know, whatever, Tarek Skubal, whatever it is? Why do they need to do that? And that we'll see what happens after the possible lockout. But why do they need to do that? They are bringing in so much money with the current model. Until there's an issue with the current model, why do they have to change it? Think about it as a business, because that's what it is. That's what it is. Thank you for listening to Locked On Giants. Thank you for watching Locked On Giants. Be sure to follow me on social media at @the_Styles Files, Styles with an I. For those of you on video, we send to the first ever 24/7 national Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On MLB. We will talk to you on Monday. Until then, peace.